EAC TV presents Clean Eats. Here with this week's clean recipe is your host, Sarah Wood.
Hey, welcome to Clean Eats. Today we're going to be making a green smoothie. We're going to be using spinach, bananas, some mixed berries, and pineapple. But really the thing about green smoothies is that you can make it as simple or as complex as you want. So this is just kind of rather than a recipe, more like a guideline. So let's go ahead and jump into our ingredients. The baby spinach that I have here is, you can find it in the produce section at any grocery store, and it's really, really good stuff for smoothies because it's not choppy. It's going to blend really, really smoothly. To aid in that, we're also going to have these bananas that can take the place of, instead of like milk or almond milk or coconut milk, the banana is going to help make it really, really smooth and give it more flavor. Also, the berries are going to be really, really important for the flavor. They work wonders for a green smoothie because sometimes, depending on what green you're using, can get kind of bitter and can get kind of choppy. The berries will really, really help neutralize that. Also, in the same kind of vein, we have the pineapple. I put pineapple in every single smoothie. It's just really, really great stuff for the smoothies. So, the only other thing you really need is your blender. I have like a personal little blender here. Really, really good. You just screw this part off. Maybe. Screw that part off. The blade is actually inside of the cup that you use to drink it out of. So I really, really recommend these, unless you're making a really big batch for some reason. Other than that, all we have to have is some water. So basically, I'm not a huge fan of measuring cups or measurements of any type because, get this off, it's going to depend on your portions. It's going to depend on how much you like of the spinach, how much you like of the berries, all that kind of stuff. So I don't bother with any of that whatsoever. Really, the more greens you add, the more greens you're getting. So if you're really doing this for a health reason, then greens are good. You want to add as much greens as you can. This little thing, if you really have to have some sort of measurement, most blenders are going to have measurements on the actual body of the blender, so you can really just kind of throw stuff in there without having to worry too much about it getting over full or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my spinach leaves in here. Do a little bit at a time until we get it to how we want it. And it's called a green smoothie, but it's not always necessarily going to be green. Especially with the berries and the bananas that we're putting in here, it's going to be more of a brownish purple kind of color that's really not appealing at all, but just it's going to look bad. It's going to taste good, and it's going to be good for you. So, get some more greens in there. See, that's a healthy amount of greens. Just remember you're going to be putting water in there at the end to help blend. So, we have some greens in there now. Now, instead of spinach, you can use kale. That's a really, really popular one. Kale has a little bit more of a taste to it than the spinach does. So if you're really trying to neutralize it, don't use the spinach. Right now, we're going to go take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to talk about the rest of our ingredients and get to blending.
When you can't sleep, you're not ready for tomorrow. Dream Bath is a bath bomb that soothes the body and mind in preparation for sleep. With lavender and chamomile ingredients, Dream Bath is an all-natural vegan way to help you fall asleep. Dream Bath. Sweet dreams.
Hey, welcome back to Clean Eats. We just got finished talking about our greens that we put in the actual smoothie. Now let's talk about our fruits, which is the fun part. So I have the banana, like I said earlier, that's gonna help make everything a little smoother, give it a little bit more of a fruity taste. It can, especially if you're storing the smoothie, it can like kind of turn it brown over time, but don't let it freak you out. It's just the way fruits are. So I have somewhat chopped up bananas here, but not really. Really, depending on your blender, you can leave it like this, you know, in these kind of chunks, or you can chop it up. I don't like using knives because I cut myself, so I'm just going to rip it in pieces, which gets a little messy, but that's fun. Okay, so that's about half of a banana. You can add some more if you want it to be a little bit smoother, but I personally don't care for the banana taste as much, so I'm going to load up more on the pineapple and the berries. Pineapple's one of those fruits that kind of goes with all the other fruits really well, so you don't have to worry about matching it. So I like to put quite a bit of it in there, so that's what we're going to do. So we've got about that much pineapple. And then we're just going to kind of fill it up the rest of the way with the berries. Now the berries, be careful. These are frozen berries, but they're going to stain your hands and your clothes if you get it on there, so don't do that. This is just raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries, I believe. So now we have some berries in there. You can always change this ratio up, like I said, not a big deal. Now we have water. You can always use a measuring cup if you don't want to spill it. I'm using an actual cup, like that. Put in about that much water. Close the lid so we don't spill any more of it. Then you're going to make sure you take this part with the actual blade. Stick it back on there, the right side up, with the blade and the blendy part. Then we're going to hopefully screw this back onto the blender. Now, this blender is really easy. It doesn't have any extra speeds or anything like that. It just has a button. If yours is fancier, then more power to you. So we're going to blend, and I'm not going to talk while it's blending because that would be a disaster. Make sure it's on there. Okay, this is one of those situations where the more you blend it, the more liquidy or the more creamier it's going to be. This, to me, I can still see some chunks of the spinach in it, so I'm going to blend it a little bit more. Okay. So now all you do is screw that off, flip it over. Make sure you flip it over properly. And then you're going to take this off. Don't drip that everywhere. Since this is like a single serve personal blender thing, it comes with a cap. So literally the body of the blender just turns into the cup that you drink it out of. It comes with an extra one too, so that's nice. So just do that. And then it has a little lid on it. You're ready to go. You can take it. These are really, really good for meal replacements. So I often use it for my breakfast because it's really, really fast, really, really easy. You know, you can even pre-make them the night before or even a couple days because it'll hold, it'll last for 3 or 4 days in the fridge. So it's really, really great as a meal replacement. Even if you don't want to do it as a meal replacement, you want to do it as a snack and just make the portion smaller or whatever, you can do any of that. It's really, 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 really versatile. So next week, meet us back for how to make a veggie burger, which is going to be really interesting.